no matter sometimes what you put into something, it might not necessarily make you happy,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
The most talented, most knowledgeable, know everything about the industry. They
Yeah.
just don't have that courage to,
Mhm.
getting up at 5 a.m, working till
Yeah.
late.
So I was at Derby from 16 till 24.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Deep Talks Pod. We're here with Stephen Cain. Stephen is an ex-professional footballer, coach, worked with different athletes of all different backgrounds, including boxing, so that's how me and him kind of have a bit of a connection together. And now he runs the online mentorship, online accelerator, which is going from strength to strength, and I am even part of this mentorship myself, trying to push my business, so it's great to see you, mate.
And you, mates, finally. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been with me a few years, haven't you? On
yeah,
and off.
On and off, yeah. The first time, obviously, I got involved with
Yeah.
yourself, I probably wasn't ready to take my business to where you want to try and guide me to, but now I feel,
No, you're all in.
I'm all in now. I'm all in. I'm committed, yeah.
Well, that's it, mate. Like, we'll chat about this in a bit, but like the way the world is now, like any trainer listening, like with me or whoever, you want to start some type of online program because that's just the way the world's going now.
100%. So yeah, so to start off then, mate, just give us an introduction into who you are, your background, and basically what you do, mate.
So yeah, basically everyone thinks I was a boxer. I know it might be a ugly bastard, but no, I wasn't a boxer. I was a footballer. I played for Everton as a schoolboy from about 11 till 16. I got offered the YTS, but not a pro, so I didn't take it. So basically, they released me. And then after that, I signed for Derby County. So I was at Derby from 16 till 24. So I was there for a long time. When I was about 23, got injured. And then my last year of the contract, a new manager come in. You know what happens there. Didn't see me play. Got released. And then I was in the big world. And I had to figure out what I wanted to do. And I knew I liked fitness. So I just sort of went all in with that, become a trainer, got into strength conditioning. And then packed up all my stuff and then moved to LA. And then the rest is history.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, a question I wanted to ask you and find out more about myself was, how did you end up delving into the world of boxing?
When I moved to LA, so my uncle manages fighters. So I met a guy called Tony Jeffries.
Yeah.
Ex-Olympian, pro fighter, good fighter. When he was living there at the same time, he was living in one of my uncle's apartments. And funny enough, we just connected. Opened up a gym called Boxing Burn in Los Angeles and Santa Monica. And then it got voted like one of the top fitness boxing gyms in LA or California. And I was doing that for 12 years. So we were training general public, housewives, a lot of pro fighters, Liam Smith, Callum Smith, all the UK lads used to come over to us. So that's how I sort of fell in to the boxing world.
Yeah.
So going back to when you were 23, what was going through your mind, obviously, when you were getting released? You knew kind of your football career was over. Yeah. What kind of avenues and pathways opened up for you?
You know what, I'll be very honest, I was lost for a good 6 to 8 months, didn't know what I wanted to do. I don't know about you lads, probably very similar to me, like where I'm from, Liverpool, very working class. So everyone that I knew was like in some type of trade, bricklayer, electrician. So I was like, that's the path I've got to do. But I tried scaffolding for 3 months and I bailed after the first, after the second month, I was like, this ain't for me. And then that's when I got into the coaching, soft football coaching, personal training. And I didn't know the FA paid for it, they all funded it. And that's how I fell into the fitness and just sort of went all in with it.
See, that's something that I think is great. That's within football and team sports. That probably now you've dipped your toe into boxing, that you see that they don't really have.
There's nothing there.
No, there's nothing there. And obviously, that's a message that I've been trying to spread a lot with a lot of people that are taught to, especially in the business world, that without their support, the businesses, these boxers won't be able to do what they do. And then if something does happen to them, like what happened to me, with like 21, lost my career. There was no retraining. There's no nothing. It was just left. Got into it. But it's great that the FA do that.
I do think though, obviously, shit things happen in your life, but you have to take responsibility and then look back at yourself. And then when your career ended, you could have sat there, not done nothing about it, and you've gone on to do good things for yourself. Yeah. But then on the flip side of things, there's a lot of young lads where they get told they get released or the pro contract's gone, and it can literally turn a life upside down.
Exactly.
And it is obviously sad to see. Obviously, me and Danny both like travelling. What made you obviously want to go abroad, other than the weather?
It might make me sound like a little bit of a gypsy, but I've been all over. Like I was born in Portugal. I was born there in '85. So my mum and dad emigrated back in the '80s, and I was born there, lived there till I was 6, then moved back to Liverpool. got into the football, moved to Derby. From Derby, I always knew I liked the sunny weather. Even when I went on holiday, I was like, I didn't want to go home. No, most people say that, but I literally didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
So then, you know, when I become a trainer, you know, I used to watch Baywatch. I'm like, that's the place to be. Everyone's in shape, everyone's happy. So my uncle's like, because my uncle's there, he's been there for 30 plus years, and he was like, this is the place to be if you want to make it and make a good living out of it. This is the place to be.
Yeah.
So that's me. Sorry about that.
No, don't worry, mate. Don't worry.
Going back to obviously when you were younger, how do you think playing a sport throughout your younger ages of life has shaped your mindset, your discipline, and, you know, having that motivation and that drive to go and do other things after obviously your career's ended?
Yeah, I was thinking about this before on the way up here, and it was like, any sport, even though I played in the team sports, you're there for yourself. So it's like I've always been, you know, there's always someone else trying to get my position, whether it's a young player or someone new coming in. So I think that drive, it's always been there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got to that level. And I think I've just transferred it over to my businesses. Just like I want to, even if you're not the best, you want to try and be the best in whatever you're trying to do. And I think that's just stuck with me ever since. Yeah.
Just point on your businesses then. So when you moved over to LA, what was like your goal with that at the time?
When I first got there, I just wanted to get as busy as I could, as fast as I could. So I was working all the classes, teaching kids classes, morning classes, evening classes, and then the PTs, the personal training session started to kick. And then, you know, when I first started there, I was probably charging like $70, and, you know, that near the end. So straight away after the first year, I was charging like $250 to $350 an hour. But that's Los Angeles, you can charge that. But I never went there like I'm going to go there on holiday and just fuck around. I went like, I want to be settled. I want to get established quickly.
I think that resonates with a lot of like people getting into the industry that I see, and me and you have both had to do the same thing. Where when we first started coaching, it's you put them yards in, you put them hours in, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And you've got to really commit to that. And I see a lot of people coming out of sports, or even not even out of sports, just coming out of being fitness enthusiasts trying to coach, and they haven't got that in them. They haven't got that edge in them to be able to put them hours in, and I think that's the key.
I think
especially in person. I mean, we can talk about the online very soon about what that takes as well. And I'm going through it now, and I'm finding that probably more difficult.
What's
just putting them hours in the gym.
There is.
There's a balance to that, which is very different, because you're still putting hours in the gym and you're trying to do the work outside of it, which isn't maybe your skill set. But yeah, them hours in the gym I think are key to be able to learn your trade. And get ahead.
Yeah, just expanding on that. There's a lot of people out there that want to do things, but they don't have the work rate. You know, they can be the most talented, most knowledgeable, know everything about the industry. They just don't have that courage to, you know, getting up at 5 a.m, working till late, having that FOMO whilst you're training, coaching people, and, you know, your mates are out doing things, and it's about just, you know, staying tunnel vision and seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, and just having that faith where, you know, them hard hours will pay off one day. For those that don't know, what is life like in LA?
It was great. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I got there at 25, 26. So I had a good time. I had a good time, both in the gym, obviously outside. I met some good people, a lot of British over there. But the difference that I've noticed, obviously moving from LA to Portugal, it's just constant hustle and bustle. So that 13 years that I was there, it's good that I've been able to install that in myself, and I'll move to a quieter place, but still have that drive.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's the thing with LA, especially LA, New York. It's everyone's like very business orientated, so you're around good people, business wise, but obviously personally, like there's a lot of dickheads out there as well. I'm not gonna lie, you know, there's good and bad. But if you just have a good click and you know what you're doing, it's a good place to really make some money and be successful.
Similar to like how Dubai is now, and I feel like in our industry, like me and you both been playing with the thing of going over there and working out there. But again, it's hard to give the business what you created where you are. Again, it's a different situation maybe from you, where you was like young and was like, right, I'm hungry, I'm going, I'm setting off out there and I'm following that dream. For us, it's a different type of situation right now, and we're weighing that up. But it's like when you go to these places, some people go there and get lost in that world of let's just enjoy ourselves. In actual fact, that place can eat you up and spit you back out. Do you know what I mean?
That's the difference for me and you. Me and you have something, you know, very fortunate to have something very good going for ourselves here in the UK, in Manchester. So it's kind of like a killer, you know, moving somewhere else.
You know, as exciting as it is, and you want to go, it's like
Start
you
from
you're like, oh, yeah.
You should test the waters, though, man. Like, you know, it's either going to make it or break
100%,
it. You know,
100%. Yeah.
So that's.
I love how you've done it though. Like you say, where you've gone to somewhere, you've taken everything that it's given to you.
Yeah.
Built a business, built a mindset and a lifestyle from that, and then gone, you know what, I'm going to move around a little bit. I'm going to see where I really want to settle myself and settle yourself somewhere where it is a little bit slower pace, but you can still push on and get ahead and do what you need to do.
That was the scariest one, actually, moving from LA to Portugal, because obviously I built a life, but then again, I'm a little bit older now, so I'm 39, so it's a little bit harder as you get older, but if you want it, fucking go and do it.
Yeah.
Have you got any other plans on travelling or moving around, or you set?
I'm settled in Portugal now, so my daughter's in school, we're all happy, got the house now, we're all good, but I'm going to be travelling, because, you know, we're in Europe again now, which is good, so I can go weekends away or whatever.
You can't be at Europe for that.
3 hours on a plane as opposed to 10 to 13 hours.
So just moving on now, so what would say for you, like obviously you've been in a world of coaching, you've probably had mentors and coaches, you probably still have one right now. The importance of having a coach, whether that is just to be getting fitter, learning a skill within, like, say, sport or whatever that might be, or business, leveling up in any way, the importance of actually having someone there,
it's vital,
to kind of guide you, who you can trust.
It's vital. I have a coach for the gym, for my fitness, and I have a coach for business. I'll always have a coach. I tell everyone, I don't know if you remember when I first spoke to you, everyone I speak to on the first call, I say, listen, if you want to get here, A to B, the fastest and easiest way to do it is by hiring someone that's doing it. They're going to show you how to do it. It's really that simple. So I advise anyone, whether it's for fitness, whether it's for your business, just learn from people that are doing the shit that you want. It's really, that's all it is.
I agree. There is a lot out there online, a lot of people that can burn you, and a lot of people that pretend, you know, they're offering something that they're not. But I feel like, having someone, the way I see it is like, if someone's got more experience than me and is somewhere where I already want to be, you know, I don't mind exchanging, you know, money for them to teach me something faster, rather than it taking me 5-10 years to get there myself. So, like
you
I
can
said,
make all the mistakes as well. I feel like having don't remember, you're still going to make mistakes. That's just always part and parcel of the game of life, innit? But I feel like you're going to make less mistakes with someone there for you. Do you know what I mean? And just keeping an eye out on you in a sense.
That's the
like,
big one.
You know what I mean? And like, it's like I can refer back to yourself. Originally when my first work together, even though it didn't set up my own line. Yeah. I remember how much my business come on just through working with yourself. Yeah. And that's why I was willing to work with you again.
Okay, good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because if I wouldn't have got anything from it, it would have been a stupid thing for me today. Yeah. So I definitely got something out of it, and now obviously, like you say, I'm more all in with what I'm doing to try and build the online and try and build the program to be as beneficial to the people that I work with as possible, and getting better at the skills that I'm not the best at. Exactly. You know what I mean? That's something that I can refer back to you, and you can help hold myself accountable for doing that. And I feel like that's where coaching comes in a massive way. It's just someone guiding you to do the things that you just don't know what to do, and so you have that coach to point you in the right direction.
I think people are scared to invest when it comes to things like
100%.
that. But they'll spend, 2-3 grand on a holiday when you can spend $1 grand, $2 grand, depending on the mentor, to learn a skill set that can make you 10 grand a month for the rest of your life.
You do see these guys though that are charging silly money for the coaching. And I'm sorry, like, I don't care what anyone. They're not selling a golden goose here. Like, there's no method to it. It's like you say, it's hard work from yourself as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you see these people that are charging silly money for their advice, and they're the ones that give it a bad name, I feel. Yeah. To like the business that you're doing, or even like the online coaching world, like just trying to get into deal with talent. Overpricing it and not offering an actual much for the service. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's too many salesmen out there, isn't there?
That's a big one I hate.
But they're not really good coaches. My first mentor, I'll be very honest, I dropped 14 grand to my first mentor, and he promised me all the good stuff, the one-on-one course, the plan. I didn't see him once. I met him once on a live event where I had to pay for. Didn't even know my name. Literally didn't even know my name. But
businessman then.
Didn't even know my name. There's a lot of people like that, and I'm one of them people, like, if you're paying for my services, I respect you too much to take the piss. And I want to provide the best possible service, because, you may never come back, but you'll refer me to somebody that, in turn will make my business better and help me grow.
It's a personal thing as well, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? I think that's a massive factor.
If you're a snide person, you're going to be a snide in business. I've worked with a lot of them.
Got to take the risk. With the online coaching, you know, let's say someone's starting off from zero, they want to be a personal trainer, because I feel like a lot of people, you know, want to jump a few steps and jump straight to the online rather than putting in the hard hours
in the gym.
Yeah, getting the experience, you know, getting the people skills.
Yeah.
What would you recommend to somebody that's at the start of the journey and they want to be a personal trainer?
I would definitely, I'm old school, like when I become a trainer, I was like, work in the gym, put the hours in, get experience, and then you build. I still say do that if you're young and you're just getting started. Get the experience in the gym, but also just because the way the world is now, learn money-making skills. So you haven't got to rely on a gym. And I've heard coaches in the UK charging or getting charged $400 a month just to work in the gym so they can work there or give them clients. So if you can take out the middleman and just learn how to market yourself right, how to generate leads and how to do a little bit of sales without being sleazy, you'll always make money. So you combine those two things together, I think you've smashed it.
That's very important. I feel like, though, if you are very good at what you do and you're active on social media, sometimes it's worth just, you know, doing your thing and the clientele will come to you, the business will come to you.
Exactly.
But obviously there's always that, if you do have a growth mindset, you do, you know, and you've got a bit of money there put away, you do want to invest in marketing and people to help you grow as an individual, as a business.
I feel like that's something that obviously me and you are at that stage, and this is why, again, I come to you, because I've hit that point where I've hit that ceiling in the gym. Do you know what I mean? And unless I obviously went to LA and start charging $300 or, you know, Dubai, other places around the world where you can do that and start again and build a clientele and try and get to that point, but you'll still hit that ceiling. There's always going to be a ceiling, and in them types of places, wherever you go, there's always going to be a cost of living, which is always going to be higher. So it's always,
I did mention that.
It's always that level. It's always that level that you're going to get to, and I feel like that's what's made me turn around and go, right, I'm going to take the foot off the pedal. I mean, sometimes when you can vouch for me, I can vouch for you, how busy you are, how busy I am at times, and then it's hard to build that business because you've got to make money. You've got to still keep making money, but that's something that you've got to try and get past, I think. And obviously you talk to me about it and say, like, you've got to, at some point, just bridge that gap and say, right, I am going to pull away from there and going to put some time and effort into this to go to that place.
It is a very dangerous mindset to have, though. Like, it's very, very effective at the same time, but like having, you know, creating a barrier of where you're happy with everything that's going on, because you have a growth mindset. You know, I hate waking up in the morning and, you know, I've got nothing to grow. Nothing's exciting me. Nothing's making me nervous. I can't really, you know, grow as an individual, as a business. But I feel like it can be dangerous on the flip side where you can run yourself into the ground, and we've both done it before.
Yeah, that's it, definitely. So on the point of that, so how did you transition from in person to online? Did you start going straight into mentoring coach, or did you start off as an online coach?
Yeah, so how it all started, I was working obviously in the gym. Then we started mentoring coaches inside the gym. So we used to travel around America, and then we went globally. So it was called Boxing Being Academy.
I know, because I remember when Tony actually started this. So obviously I followed Tony from the 2008 Olympics. At that time, my dream was to fight in the Olympics.
Yeah.
We knew that the London 2012 was coming up. I was too young for that, but it wasn't my dream. And so I really followed Tony, and I remember him turning pro. I remember watching what he did. I remember him retiring. And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that he retired because of how good he was. Yeah. So early. And then he moved to LA and did what he did, and it was like the YouTube thing was really starting to kick off then as well. I think he just did it at the right time.
He's on that, to be fair. But this is how it all started. So we started mentoring coaches, and then I done my own thing because I was like the strength conditioning sort of guy. And then I done my own workshop. So I used to get like boxing coaches, personal trainers, and we do a 2-day event, help them with the business, help them with the strength conditioning knowledge. And then as I was traveling doing that, I was like, okay, I want to start my own online thing now. And it was basically for, I'd say, boxing and combat sports enthusiasts, like people that wanted to get fit but train like a fighter. So that was my first online program, and it was low ticket. So I was charging like $150, and you can have access to it forever. And then after a while, I was like, I got a mentor. He's like, what are you doing that for? Like, do this high ticket. I was like, what's high ticket? And then he started to show me that. Got good at it. Done that for 2-3 years. Started scaling it. Other coaches started reaching out to me. How are you doing it online? Just started giving people free advice. I was like, okay, I think I've got something here, because they started getting results. And then I thought, you know what? I enjoyed the coaching side better. And I just went all in with that.
Right.
That's all happened.
Great. Yeah,
I always say with the coaches, it's like, don't look at what the coach is doing themselves. Look at how they affected other people's lives and the results. You know, if you can prove to people that you've provided results with other people, that's when, you know, you've hit a nail on the head. Obviously, going back to your business, What do you think's made you successful throughout your life, in your business, in your football career, in general, just as a person?
I think I'm just stubborn as fuck. I just don't give up, mate. I don't care. Like, I just keep going. Like, even when I played football, when I got released from Everton, obviously I got offered the YTS, but didn't get offered what I wanted. So then I was like, okay, I could have just give up. But then went on a trial, got offered the pro contract, the YTS, and then I just kept grinding. Like, I think that just, I don't know, for sports, like, you're constantly like trying to battle something or someone. So when I went into business, I was the exact same. It's got to work. There's no other way of doing it. And it's helped. It's definitely. But like you said before, it can be a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you can sort of keep going when you should. I need to relax a little bit now.
I think that's the learning phase, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's something where you're actually learning your trade as well. Like, you know what I mean, you've got to sometimes take the wrong road.
Yeah.
To know it's the wrong road.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think like me and you spoke about it in the past. Like, you've got to sometimes go down, do something for a period of time to really know that's not what you want to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's great that. But what are the key factors from the things that you've learned through all these like different experiences that you've had that you'd say has made you successful and has been able to help you build the business that you have today?
I'd say willingness to learn, not be, sort of above myself thinking I can't learn from anyone. I think I'm very open-minded to learn new skills. I never used to be. When I was in school, if I didn't understand something, fuck, I'm not doing that. Don't like it. But now as I got older, I've understood, okay, if you learn that thing that you need, and understanding, like, you don't have to learn everything in the world, but if you understand certain things that you need to make your life and business better, then go all in with it. So I think just being open-minded to learn a new skill set, that's what's helped me.
Yeah, not being arrogant.
Yeah.
I think that used to be a big one for me. Like, I used to get told advice when I was playing football, and I'd be like, well, why is he giving me advice? But there can be literally anyone out there in the world that can teach you something that you don't know.
Exactly.
Whenever it may be.
Yeah.
Obviously, football is where me and you cross paths. Growing up, is that the only thing you wanted to do? Did you think there was nothing else you'd be doing with your life?
That was it. That was it. Literally, I mean, I was playing for Everton when I was 12, and then I playing all the way through to 24, and then that was it. I think that's
got a few stories from them days then.
Well, yeah, I was in Rooney's team, so I'm 13. Rooney's in my team, and I've got a few stories. I don't know what I'm going to say on this, but I think everyone knows anyway. But
I'm sure, mate. So you turned pro then with Derby.
So I was a YTS and pro at Derby. So I was pro for like 2 years, and then I got injured, and then went semi-pro, played for a team in Liverpool called Marine. They're doing pretty well now.
Really decent.
And then that's where I started doing the coaching and getting me coaching badges. Started coaching for Liverpool a little bit, doing camps, they had camps all over Scandinavia, and then I become a trainer. So I was doing teaching boot camps in Crosby. Like, it was just sort of bouncing everything at the same time. And but yeah, everyone's a trainer in England now. When I left, I think I was the only one. Literally, didn't really see anyone.
What transition from the football to the training?
Just like when I was in Crosby, that's like I was driving around there last time I was home, and there's loads of trainers just on parks doing camps and personal training. Yeah. When I first got started, there was trainers in fitness first, like a few of them, but not really. You didn't really see them out and about. Like now, I think it's blew up over the last
like me,
8 years or so.
Yeah. I started my football coaching one-to-ones, obviously, whilst I was still playing semi-pro, and then back in 2020, so throughout COVID. Yeah. Nobody in parks, nothing. Now there's, just from where I'm from Wivenshaw,
that's with the football.
5-6 different, just with the footballs on with the football and parks. There's 5-6 different coaches, and it is good to see, because I feel like since COVID, the fitness industry and taking care of yourself, your nutrition, your health has grew so much. But going back to the coaching, was that a passion of yours whilst you were still a player? Like for me, for example, when a coach would be explaining something or some tactics before a game, I'd always try and put myself in his shoes and feel what he's feeling or why he's saying that.
The football coaching side of things, no, never really. That wasn't really a passion of mine, to be fair. I just sort of fell into it, and I was good at it, and I enjoyed it for a little bit. But there was other coaches when I was coaching Liverpool that didn't have much experience as a player, but they really loved it. Like they were like notepads like all day and night, and I just loved the coaching side of it when I was out in the field. But I think for me, I enjoyed the personal training, the strength conditioning coaching, as opposed to the football side of things.
Yeah, I was like that as a player. I didn't really watch football whilst I was playing.
Yeah.
I always had a passion for coaching, but I just enjoyed playing it. There was nothing much more to it. But obviously then, life hits you, and then different pathways open up, and then you sat there thinking, what can you do? And it's just an avenue pops up, and then you take it, and a few years down the line, whilst you're working hard, something comes up.
What would be a pivotal point in, say, like your life, maybe even as a footballer? Because everyone has them throughout their lives, probably multiple, don't we? But what would you say that's been a pivotal point with you, which has really changed the direction of what you was going on at that time?
I'd say, I always talk about this. It's like, I think it was like the week before I moved to America, because I was sort of 50-50 with it. So my brother lives there. I went out there for like a little holiday to try and suss it out. Then I come back and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And then I remember just going, and I think I went for a meal somewhere, like Wetherspoons or something, where I'm from. And I remember just sitting down, and there was like lads in my school that were there just drinking. And there was lads that I knew my brother's age, that looked about 50, 60 years old, doing the same thing. And I was like, this ain't for me, this. Like, I'm not doing another 5-10 years and being these people here. And then I literally went home, booked my flight, and I was gone in like 3 days. That's the only thing that I remember.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people.
And it was a one way. I didn't book nothing back. Fuck, I'm out.
No, I really respect that. Like, my best mate now, currently, he got into the online court. I've mentioned to you, I think, before. He used to box for me for a period of time. I had an accident in the gym, and then hated the 9-to-5 life.
Yeah.
And now he's just got a one-way ticket to Colombia, and he's smashing
Boom.
it. But he's already started his online coaching. He's working, and his background is sales. So he loves this. He loves this world. This world is for him. Do you know what I mean? But like I said to him, I have massive respect for you for doing that. Do you know what I mean? Because you're taking a leap of faith.
Well, that's when your back's against the wall. He's got to make it happen now.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. You have to make it work. Yeah. You have to make it work. Yeah, and that's another part of probably, I think, with sport as well. When you take that plunge on going into like a pro.
Yeah.
A pro. You've tried it.
Yeah.
I've tried it. You've got no plan B.
Exactly.
And so you have to have one. You know what I
mean?
I
think when I was young, it's probably different now. But if I was to say, I might do this, if I spoke to another player or the coach would be like, it's fucking negative. Like, don't you want to be a player? So like, you couldn't really talk about it. It was like just going to be a football, and then there was nothing.
I think there's an element in that in every generation. Though. I think that obviously now, I'd say especially in team sports like football, rugby in this country, they do offer some form of, what if this doesn't work? You can give us skill sets and stuff like that. But there's still that mentality, isn't there? No one's thinking about it.
Yeah.
No one's
it's
thinking
just
about
there, though, isn't it? It's just there.
Yeah. I feel like if you want to be great at something, you've got to have no plan B. You've just got to go all in.
At some point, you have to do it, because if you don't do it, it's not going to work out.
No.
At some point, you do, yeah. Definitely. So what would be, say, throughout your life, all the experiences you've had, like some key pieces of advice that you would give to your younger self coming through?
I'd say don't listen to anyone. I'd say that was one of my weaknesses as a younger lad, especially a player. If I got like some negative feedback from a coach, my head would go down. So when I was like 14 to 15, 16, that was really bad for me. So just having more confidence in your skill sets, like, I know I can fucking do this. And when someone's giving you some feedback, negative, that you might find negative at the time, use it to fuel and move forward and learn from it. That did hold me back for a while, to be fair. That was one of the big. You probably had the same when you'd sit down with the coach at the end of each season. He would give you and your parents a report, and that was one of the things that would pop up. I was very sensitive, but yeah, that's something I'd definitely say to me younger self.
There's a mentality now.
Just take it on the chin and move on.
Even you see it in my generation, a bit younger than me. There's a mentality of people don't like taking constructive criticism.
Yeah.
They don't take it fairly well, and I feel like it's the best way to learn. And you can use, like you've just said there, you can use it as fuel. You can use it as motivation to go back and go and work harder on your craft or whatever it may be that someone's criticising.
Definitely, 100%. So obviously now moving on to something that's probably a little bit more say spiritual kind of thing. What's like your philosophy on living a healthy life a successful life and a happy life?
I'd say it's over the last 4 years since I had my daughter. Before she was here, it was all about work, make tons of money, and that was it. Keep getting better, self-development. When I had the kids, you probably see these gurus, it's all about make this money, sign all these times. Like, it's all about work. Now, as I've got older and I've got a daughter, I want more balance.
See, that's where me and him differ, because I'm more like that now. I ain't got a kid, but I'm a little bit more like that.
So for me,
outlook.
Obviously, I'm growing constantly, but I've got a daughter, so I can't just be selfish, because I'd be a shit dad. So I need that balance, and it's forced me to calm down a little bit and just enjoy the moment sometimes, because like what you said before, when you're an entrepreneur, you just constantly go. And last night when I was sitting with my family, I couldn't really relax. I'm like, come on, just chill. Like, I'm not constantly thinking about work. So it's I'd say get to a point and you're like, listen, when you're first getting started, you've got to grind. I don't care what anyone says. There's no fucking quick fix. But when you get to a level where you know, hitting a certain amount of money, you've got your clients that you want, you've got good balance at home, I'd say just be for me, that's I've cracked it. That's what I want to get to. And that's where I've got to right now. So I want to keep evolving, keep improving.
I think
keep
that's
grinding.
important. That never ends.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever ends. I think I come to a bit of a realization with that through a few experiences through my life, where I've gone, you no matter sometimes what you put into something, it might not necessarily make you happy. If you know what I mean. So you've got to enjoy. You've got to find joy in obviously in the hard work. And you've got to find satisfaction in that and all the different things. But you've also got to be able to enjoy what your life is right now as well. Unless something bad's going on in your life, like severely, going on. You can't. Sometimes people got to go through that type of stuff. But if your life's not that bad and you're just grinding, you're just striving for more. And enjoy that process, and it comes easier. It comes easier then, doesn't it?
100%.
100%. So
I mean, I'm talking for as a father. Do you know, have you got kids?
No.
So right now I'll be in the exact same position. You just go all in with it. But things change. You know, you evolve. Doesn't mean you're lazy or whatever. You're still grinding.
And that's something that I think I even come down hard on myself sometimes when I have like a day where I haven't actually got much on, and I give myself that day. Sometimes I'm a bit like, you know what I mean? And I think we all do that. Anyone who's got an ambitious side to them does do that. And then it plays on your head then, do you know what I mean?
Feel guilty.
The guilt comes in, 100%. You feel guilty for it, do you know what I mean? And I think like that, and it annoys me. That annoys me, that to be honest, because I think, why?
It's the entrepreneurial mindset. It's I think you will evolve though. That will change. You know, what I do right now, I just basically slot in a certain amount of hours where I'm grinding, and then literally I've got times in my schedule where I'm with my family. Like, I have to lock them in, because if I don't, I'm just grinding. It's literally in my calendar, and that's what's helped me.
I see how you say on your course as well a lot about that, like how you your time management and stuff like that. And I think that's something that I feel like I'm still grasping. I'm not bad at time management in terms of providing for my work and covering everything, but sometimes it does feel a little bit messy. And sometimes my chill time and my work time crosses over, and sometimes I don't get things done. Sometimes I get loads done, and it's just a little bit all over the place. And that's something that probably for myself, I would definitely want to improve on. The way that you seem to do it, and the way that you explain it in the course and stuff like that, for anyone who's interested in potentially getting on this course, it's a good way of learning a lot about that. And it challenges you as well. It makes you question yourself. I've questioned myself, and I've gone a bit like, fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going, you know what, actually, that's something that I do need to improve on. Because I've always thought I was good at time management, but then when you've got extra things to do, and you're not blocking the time to do them, they go missing.
You get lost.
Next minute, another week goes, and you've not done it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Going back to that happiness there, and I feel like it's a feeling that comes and goes, and it's fueled by a lot of us scrolling through social media and looking at lives that are just unrealistic. People just stunting. And it's like, oh, why have I not got that? And they're trying to sell something to you. But I feel like, again, where you're saying, obviously, you've got that balance now. In my life, you're what, 39. You've got 16 years on me. Whereas mine's completely different. I'm like fully just, like, I sometimes sit there and I'll have a chat with a few of my mates, and I'm like, my life outside my businesses is an absolute mess. Like, nothing gets done on time. Everything's just a tip. But my business is like on point. Everything's just like top notch. And I feel like we said it on the last one. Like for me, it's doing the hard work now, a little bit earlier on in life. And then obviously, you know, hopefully by the time I'm your age, I've got that time to, you know, take my kids away or tell my kids what I used to do, you know, give them a few experiences and have that free time. But like I say, it's a beautiful, life's that beautiful thing where everyone's on different journeys, and it's nice having conversations like this where, you know, you can share your experiences, and I can share mine, and we can all, you know, take something from it.
Yeah, it's a lonely gig, isn't it, being an entrepreneur? So it's good to talk with other people doing the same things.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
This is why we've obviously started this podcast. I know you run yours as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yours is probably more to do about your mentorship and stuff like that, but it's to engage in these types of conversations with people like yourself, to be able to learn as much as we can from people like you. Do you know what I mean? And then be able to offer that out to other people that are interested in this type of content, this type of stuff, this type of information. Do you know what I mean?
It's not always like systems and strategies of how to make money. There's other sides of it, isn't like mindset and you know, it plays a big part in it.
It can be very, very lonely. I think that sometimes, you know, when it's like a weekend and you see your mates out and you're just, I won't say stuck in a gym because I love what I do, but it's just like I say, having that bit of belief that one day it's going to pay off.
It will. You just got to keep
when I look back on the past 5 years, it already has paid off. So, you know, it gives you a even bigger push to go and do it.
Yeah, that's something else that I was going to ask you there. Like, when you look back on well, do you ever like just take a moment as well, just to stop and have a look back at like maybe like the different stages of your life, maybe to like reflect?
I do now, since I've lived in, like, I live in Portugal now in the Algarve.
So you never did that even when you was, for all them years that you was in?
No, LA's just, I was just constantly around, honestly. You don't get time to. It's just constant boom, 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 hustle and bustle. Like everywhere you go, like what I've just been saying there, coffee shops packed, people working, people driving around the Ferraris, Ranges, like everything's just money, money, like everything's just constantly at you. So you feel guilty if you just sit back and chill and reflect. But now, as I've got older, obviously I moved to Portugal and I've got a good routine now, and I'm like, okay, for me, I've just moved my family from LA to Brazil, then to the Algarve. So that's where I'm like, fuck, you know what, you're doing okay, mate, like, well done. But that was a big transition, and it was all through my business, digital nomad visa. So now I'm starting to reflect. I don't know if you do it, but every morning, like, I have a morning routine, but I never used to be into like, gratitude. I used to think, all this stuff, but I'm into it now. I just jot down 2 or 3 things that I'm happy about or that I'm grateful for. So just make it a bit more, you know, just slow you down. So you know what, you're doing okay.
It's a big one.
I think I try and do that. I mean, maybe not write it down, but let's say if I'm going through a period of stress and I'm going, I wish this. I try and stop and just say to myself, like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
You're being probably a soft ass here. Look what you know what I mean? Like, you're being a little melt. Like, come on, you're better off than.
He's doing really well.
Yeah, you're doing well. Like, do you know what I mean? Compared to a lot of people. Or it's not compared to a lot of people, but like compared to what you was.
Yeah.
A few years ago. So I think that's the key one, innit?
Do you think? Obviously, like you're saying there about LA, how busy it is. You know, you got LA, New York, London, Dubai. Do you not think you can get caught up in it a lot? Like, my family's from Poland, and I went back home 2-3 weeks ago, and everyone's just so family orientated. Nobody's really, you know, as long as you've got enough money to get by, you've got food to provide for your family, you know, you've got a roof under your head, you're happy. Yeah. And what do you think it is that makes us that, you know, that hunger to go and get more and strive to get, you know, more money, the better car, the bigger house? Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, well, for me, it's like you always want to do better than your parents, don't you? That's like, I think, going a bit deep now, there's some trauma, like that.
I think it's also how you've been brought up as well. Like my message my dad would say to me, that'd be something that my dad would actually say. He said, I want you to be better than me. Yeah. And he said, this is something that me and my mum and dad have spoken about many times. Don't understand people who settle to be the same or worse than the parents, because I feel like if you settle to be the same as your parents, you're probably going to end up worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's either as a person, as financially, whatever that might be. There's an area where you're probably going to be worse than your mum and dad. So that's something that I feel like as a parent I would instill in my kids. 100%. So it's a bit of trauma, but I feel that's a positive.
Everyone has trauma, but everyone has it, right? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and he was talking about it. He was one of my mentors actually, and he's talking about the same thing, balance and stuff like that. But I think you just always want to be better, don't you, than your mum and your dad. You want to give your family a better life, and I think that's what pushed me to constantly show up on a daily, and still, now.
Going back to obviously your parents, I don't know what you guys think, but when sometimes you're sharing ideas or what's going on in the world with your parents, do you feel like they can kind of put you down because they grew up in a different generation?
Different time, yeah. I don't even talk to my parents about what I do. They're just on a different planet. So compared to
that's how I feel like.
Me trying to explain what I do to my parents, he's just like my dad when he came to visit me in Portugal about 2 months ago, and he was like scratching. I was on a Tuesday where I'd do one-on-one calls with my coaches, and he was like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. My dad had his own company, like bricklaying and stuff like that. He works with his hands and stuff, and he's like, I just don't get it. How do you do that? Yeah. So it's like me trying to talk to them. It's like you're just wasting you.
But they're supportive of you.
100%. Yeah, they're not negative. They're just, like I said, they come from a different time, don't they? So I only talk to people that are sort of in the same world as me. My coaches, my mentor, other people doing what I'm doing. Because it can, and then you can get lost in it, and it can piss you off as well.
That's a big one.
Frustrating.
Like you can share an idea or a thought or something you want to do with someone, and if they're not on the same wavelength or they're not as optimistic as you, they can quickly put you down, and then you sat there second guessing it.
Get a normal job.
Yeah. Well, I had that when I stopped boxing. Genuinely, that was a massive one for me when I first stopped fighting. A lot of the people around me at the time. One didn't understand what was going on, couldn't fathom what was going through. So they thought they were there for me, but they probably wasn't.
Yeah.
And the other thing was as well, like it was, right, a few months had passed and I was still working on the building site, and I was starting to do sales for VIP boxing equipment.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, you know what, I want to learn something. I can do the building site. I can go and learn them skills over years. I can go and get that. And I could probably I've got an entrepreneurship with that. Probably would have done my own thing. But it was something like, my dad does this, going back to that. My dad does that. And no disrespect to my dad. My dad's done very well with that. And my dad's made a great living out of that. But I don't want to do the same thing as my dad. I want to do something different. Yeah. And I've done everything in my power up until this point to do something different. So when I started to learn these new skills, and my mate's going to me, do you not reckon you should go and get like a trade or something like that? I even listened to that much, yeah. I bought a like, when you can put like a deposit down on something?
Yeah.
And then my mum went, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's not for you. It's because we were married, but luckily I had a mum and dad that was there for me. And my dad said to me, that isn't for you. Do you want to do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just doing it because it makes sense. Now, maybe when I was younger, I would have done that just to have a skill set to have that. But at that age, it was like, that's not your path. Like, that's not for you right now. You need to take your time and just do what you're doing, and it works out.
Some people don't even have that.
I would have been that person who might have done that. Either wasted £3,000 on this course, or gone into that and hated it. And then been stuck in that because it made good money, and
that's all you know now as well.
That's all they would have known. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think on the upbringing as a parent, and I feel like this is why me and you haven't had kids yet, like how big of an impact the way you brought up is onto obviously how you are later on in life? Like, for example, like my mum and dad instilled the work rate and the discipline into me from so young, primary school, high school, and that's just, it's like, to me, it's just second nature. Whereas some people will look at me and go, how do you work 12, 13, 14 hours in a day? Whereas I'm just like, yo, it's in the Polish blood.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So like, that's it, mate. It's like, I think you got a bit. It's the people that you're at. My mum. Yeah. My mum owns her own business for years, so I was used to it. So she had a shop in town in Clayton Square. So like, I remember every day just getting up and for working 12, 13 hours, and I was going playing football. So I was around people that never really worked for anyone else. My mum was the breadwinner. So it was just sort of instilled in me, like, get up and fucking go to work, like, this is what we do.
But yeah, I think a lot of working class people are that, like, and I think that hasn't gone away in the generations. You've still got hard working mums and dads. You've got hard working young mums and dads now that are doing the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like that in this country as well, though, like, people are seeing again through salesmen, I feel like, you know what I mean? All these people selling this lifestyle, like, it does get on me.
Quick
on
fix.
Yeah. And it's even like the likes of, like, say, like the Tates and stuff like. Now listen, there's a lot of stuff that he says is great for giving people motivation, but there's also a lot of stuff that he says where it's like you're selling some people this like thing like it's easy.
Well, he's selling something, isn't he? He's selling
something.
He's selling something.
It's very clever though.
It's clever what he's doing, and a lot of these people are doing the exact same thing. Why do you think loads of people are doing podcasts? Obviously, we're just trying to do it to spread message and build content and build our own experience. But a lot of people doing these podcasts just to sell their message.
Well.
Their message. That's it.
They're faking a podcast. Yeah. Some people just sit there in the room on mic.
I've seen them. I was like, oh, come on.
I know a few of them. Dunlop. So it's good. So going back to like the lifestyles that you've lived in. So obviously you've had like LA, Portugal, Liverpool, and you travelled around doing a bit of coaching. Yeah. Where would you have said you have been the most fulfilled and happy in all of them places?
I'd say definitely when I moved to LA.
Would you?
Yeah, because everything just leveled up.
Right.
And I was around very similar people to me, because where I come from, it's like you get a trade. There was no one doing what I'm like coaching really. So when I moved to obviously America, I met all the coaches, entrepreneurs, people like LA, these type of places. Now everyone wants to
do well.
Yeah, personal development and all this stuff, mentorship. Like there was none of that where I'm from. So I was in a good place, and I grew so much faster. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what I'd be doing if I still lived. I'd still be, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is being around people like that?
It's massive.
Yeah, that you look at and you're like, that I want to do that. I want to be that.
That's why I tell all my coaches, I have a new mentor every 2 years. I'm always with a mentor, because it's easy to think you know everything. And you learn a certain skill set, but to get to that next level, you've got to learn new skill sets. So that's why I'm always trying to level up and be around other people that are way further ahead than me. I want to be, probably hear it all the time, like be the smallest person in the room.
Smallest fish in the pond.
Yeah, all the, because you can learn and you're forced to like get better. So that's why I'd say definitely the community of being around the right people will enhance how fast you move.
How would you go about that? If you're looking for a mentor or a coach, what would you look at in that person?
First off, you consume the content. That's what you first do. Every mentor that I've hired, I've watched the content, and then I've podcast as well. So before I've even jumped on a call with them, I've listened to a bit of the content. Like I spoke to a coach today that wanted to jump on a call with me. I said, I think you need to learn a bit more about me first before we jump on a call. So I'd say definitely consume, but also find someone that's on the same page. And when you take a call with them, 'cause that's how it works, you jump on a call with them, don't you? And then you have a chat and all this stuff. Now, I do that myself, but the reason I do it is because I might feel like that person's a dickhead and vice versa. So I'm not going to drop 2K, 5K, 10K on someone that I don't like. So it's like, find someone that you like, engage, consume the content. And if you have a call with them, like, that's where you can suss them out as well. Don't just jump in and go, oh, there's $10,000, whatever. Because I've seen that before as well.
Yeah, some people would do that. I mean, maybe this is like just the tight side of me, but I couldn't do that. Like obviously, you know yourself when you spoke to me. Like it took a bit of maybe persuasion on your side, but like a little bit of a sales tactic from your side to even like persuade me to even though I wanted to.
Some people do.
You knew I wanted to. You knew I wanted to do it. It was just like, right, I've got to gauge. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If it's right for me, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I felt like with yourself, because of your experience, and you seemed, well, I think you are.
I think be relatable.
Relatable and a genuine person. Do you know what I mean? Because like we said before, there's a lot of people out there that aren't genuine. All sides of coaching,
they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Like I said before, salesmen. Yeah, that's it.
I feel like I hate getting sold to. Like if I want something off someone, I'll make it known that I want it. Yeah. If someone's trying to proper sell me something.
But there's different types of consumers, though, isn't there? I think there's different types of consumers. I feel like with the mentality that maybe us three have, other people out there, it's like more like, I know what I want.
Yeah.
It's whether you can provide what I want. That's the thing. Whereas other consumers, they don't really know what they want, but they want to be given something, and they
think that's what they need.
Yeah. And then you can put that in front of them and be like, right, this might be what you need, and they can go, right, well. And then it's like a persuasion then to make them want it a bit more, innit?
Yeah, but that's again going like where I'm at right now. I don't want to persuade anyone.
No.
So if you don't want to jump on a call with me, like
it's wasting your time now.
I haven't got time. I haven't got time for it. I don't want to persuade anyone. This is what you want. let's go. If not, all the best.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm in the same boat, like obviously with my PT, I think you are as well. With my one-to-one coaching, and even my boxing coaching as well. If you don't want to learn this, and you're not going to engage, and you're not going to show up, and I'm not even asked, like, just go away.
Yeah.
Because I'll fill that spot.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing you can do.
And then you attract the right people, though. And that's the thing, you'll attract people like you, the same mindset that are there to work and just put...
Well, that's when I'm going to get the results as well. And our business is, all of ours is based on results that we get. If we don't get the results, we don't have them case studies, we don't have that social proof, we don't have that reputation.
Yeah, I feel like it's the worst thing you can do. Like proper try and force someone to buy something off you.
I hate it.
Because for one, you sound like a beg, and for two, or people that come to you and say, "Oh, can't you do a lower price?" Or you end up just getting the worst possible client.
Oh, they're horrible.
Yeah,
they're horrible. In the gym and online, like they always want more. They don't want to do the work, and it's just a nightmare.
Yeah. Obviously, you've run your own business, been an entrepreneur for 15 plus years. How do you feel that has had an effect on your family life, having kids, time with family?
I'd say the first year when she was born, like when I had a daughter, the first 2 years, it was a transition. I had to sort of figure out a balance. I was like, I can't just be outside or online working all the time. I've got to be a dad as well now. So it like forced me to, like I said before, slow down. So starting my family did change things, like my mindset completely. And it is okay to take a day off or be smarter with you. It actually got me tighter with my time management. It forced me to, like, when I have got the time, I'm fucking working. I'm working on the right things, as opposed to just going for the motions every day and thinking I'm grinding, but like you're probably just doing a lot of stuff that's not doing nothing really. So it got me tighter with my time, and now I work with way more intense. So I've got 3 hours. I'm fucking working for 3 hours. No one's bothering me. So I say balance, but it's also got me a lot more very, very strict when I am working, like my time management.
There's so many measures you can take to have more time. We have a joke, like, I hate people that say they've got no time. We always say, like, well, get your screen time app up and see how much time you spend scrolling. You can waste so much time in a day doing stupid shit.
Our job as well, I mean, we're probably some of the worst for it, because obviously our job is on our phone.
Well, if you work, I know I'm saying.
No, what I mean is, though, it catches you, doesn't it? Like,
you've got to
it's built to catch you, draw you.
Yeah, 100%.
It's built to draw you.
Yeah, the algorithm gets you.
You know what I mean? And it's not even just like, all right, Instagram or whatever it might be. It's like someone will pop up and then you have another conversation here, you have another conversation here. Sometimes my head's fried with how many conversations I'm having.
Send a few memes out.
I can. And then you still have the time to send a meme out. Like,
I can be laying in bed.
The WhatsApp memes.
You're the worst for that, though. So I don't know what you're saying there, wasting time. Listen, I must receive so many memes, and ask the group chat from the gym. Me.
I can have a full day of work.
That's his off time.
Yeah. I can be well tired, lay in bed. I'm just creasing at my phone. Everyone's got to see this one.
Usually weird ones as well. To be fair, proper weird actually. Yeah. So all right, moving on then. Probably the final point really of what we've kind of bring it all together. The direction that you're going in now.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the future? Tell us a little bit more about obviously your course and what you do.
Yeah. But I've been doing the online accelerator program now for like the last 5 years, helping personal trainers, combat sport coaches. That's sort of my background. So I get a lot of Muay Thai coaches, personal trainers, boxing coaches that join my program because they didn't think there was a sort of, a niche for combat sports to take the business online. So for me, it's just to keep growing this, do more live events, and just keep evolving it, just keep growing. Yeah.
Delve a little bit into like what your course offers then, because obviously for people who don't know, like the type of stuff that you do and how you like kind of like program it, how you set it out.
Yeah.
Because there might be people who are interested in even working with yourself.
So basically what we do, if you're a coach that's looking to start online business but you got no idea of where to start, what to do, we take you through everything. So we've got, I think, 20 modules that takes you through how to figure out your avatar, how to program the online business, how to how to find leads, how to sign clients, how to market yourself, how to use social media for your business, not to be a sleazy salesman, nothing like that, but how to basically evolve and grow this online, because you can be a great trainer, but you also need to be good at like a good business owner as well. So we show you how to do that. If you want to be a hybrid coach, you want to be an online coach, feel free to reach out on Instagram, Stephen Cain Coaching.
I can vouch as well for that. Obviously, the service that he does provide, he is there for you, like, whenever you need. And you do get, I think, like, from the last time I've worked with you, I think this time you've improved again. Like, as well, like, I feel like you're giving it, what you're providing now is a little bit more truer, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like you've got more experience with it, kind of like you've worked out some kinks and stuff. And it's like, and you do give the coach a bit of breathing space as well, because I know I'm very busy with everything that I do, and I'll explain that to you, and you're not like on me being too heavy on it, and it's like kind of makes you push
Everyone's
away.
different.
Like, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Everyone's got different needs, and I feel like you're good at catering for that. So yeah, I definitely recommend
having a kid.
coaches.
Calm me down a bit.
chill.
You need to have more kids, don't I?
I feel like that's very important as a coach, not being arrogant in just having one way for all, and knowing your clients and having that experience, and being able to cater for everyone. And you may learn differently from Danny, but I've got to be wise enough to realise that, so I can progress you in the way that you want to be progressed and get you the results that you want to get. Obviously, you say you've had a kid, and now you said your life's a bit more balanced. Where do you see the business going in the next few years, and what's the goals?
Yeah, like I said before, like I want to help as many coaches as possible. So I just want to keep evolving, keep growing. I want to teach a lot more live events, not just with my coaches, but I've been offered to go to a few places, to gyms, and teach like workshops. Been offered to one in LA, and one in Canada. So I think more speaking gigs is something that I want to sort of push out there now. But yeah, just like I said, always evolving, keep growing, global.
Global.
Johnny Global.
Brilliant, mate.
Pressured at them live events.
Yeah. But that was sort of my bread and butter. I used to do it. That's how I sort of become a mentor, by teaching the live workshops, 2-day events. So I enjoyed it. Obviously now it's going to be for the online business, but I like traveling. I do like to get out there and see the world a little bit. Now my business allows me to do that, which
that's
is
another
great.
reason why I resonated with yourself, because obviously that's something that I love. I love traveling. I love, and I'd love the opportunity to be able to have a bit more time freedom and location freedom as well, to be able to do things abroad, and even like offer my services abroad. I have people that message that are out in Thailand at the moment, friends that are messaging me to come over, but I couldn't necessarily go over there without working after the business, and this is the dilemma that we have. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good to see that you're doing all these things to be able to help people like me.
It's possible. But, we've got coaches doing it, so you just gotta follow the frameworks. But for like what you said before, just get tight with the time management and work on the right things, and you'll get there. That's all it is. Big world out there, man. Gotta see it.
It's the only time we get to reflect, really. I feel like when I go away, it's so busy. When
Yeah.
you're in
So I'm
it.
looking forward to
That's
the
another
weekend.
thing. Yeah.
You just get to reflect. You sit there for a few days, you're like,
Slow
right,
down a minute, don't you? A bit of stress comes off you, and you're like, right.
You actually come up with better ideas.
Yeah,
100%,
recharge, ready to go again.
100%. Right, then.
Yeah,
Well,
let's wrap it up.
yeah, we'll wrap it up then. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Stephen.
boys. Appreciate it.
Absolute
Thank you
pleasure,
very
mate.
much.
Thank you very much. So yeah,
Thanks
tune
for
in,
listening.
guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.